Hello everybody, it's time for a little summer break intermezzo. Today it's the 10th of August 2022. I am Liberlander Yoshi Livo and my preferred money is Bitcoin of the Netherlands, e-Gulden EFL. The message I'm about to share comes from my heart and is purely a documentation for myself as a memory for the future. Ever since I bought my first Bitcoins at $5 each, I've tried to explain to my real-life peers around me about the impact the innovation of crypto money would have on the world and Dutch society in particular. As one of the few nations in the world, the Netherlands benefits from the status quo. With the import of cheap resources made possible by strong alliances that install puppet governments around the planet, the Dutch people have been paid royally for their obedience over the past couple of decades. I've always felt the imbalance of the planet and knew that something wasn't right. It took me the first 25 years of my life to figure out the workings of our global money system. But ever since I formed my own conclusions about its workings, people felt awkward when I started to share those conclusions with them. Because my findings were so far out of their level of understanding, it has caused a great deal of cognitive dissonance. I have tried to understand the arguments people would have against my denunciation of fiat money, but the only arguments I get are the emotional ones in which I don't see any ground. I probably have communicated my discontent in a wrong manner that puts people in a position where I hold them responsible for their willful ignorance. But in my opinion, this event is bigger than anybody's life. Your education doesn't matter, your religion doesn't matter, and if you truly tell me you care about the people around you, then this topic deserves all of your immediate attention. I was 25 years old and at the start of my career. So far I spent my entire life, until then I spent my entire life in government-funded education programs. And now it was time to start to build up my life in the real world. So what does that mean when you are Dutch and educated for a lifelong office job? Back then there was the unwritten dress code of wearing a suit. And if you wouldn't sign a contract where your boss referred you to your pension fund, they would find another candidate that would sign the agreement. Referring you to a pension fund gives your employer a nice bonus, because 20% of your earnings go to such a savings fund for when you are 65 years old, and over time that amounts to a lot of money. But right at the time when I started my career, the Dutch government started to change the retirement age to 67, or even older sometimes. I started to think about a commitment like that. At 25 years old, signing a contract with a duration of 40 years seemed a little bit crazy for me. By looking for alternatives, I came across Bitcoin at a fairly early stage, and as soon as I discovered its workings, it sent shivers of joy all over my body. For me, the most important part of Bitcoin was the outspoken message of freedom it contained. Unfortunately today, very little of that original message remains, and compliance and regulation is all that is left of it. I do not believe in the Lightning Network, but instead see a future with blockchains for every purpose that human creativity can imagine. For me, it makes sense that people that live in the same location and speak the same language would use their own blockchain. But any specific community can create its own, of course. Freedom will bring prosperity, but that freedom is what some try to contain and exploit for their own benefit. With the upcoming Ethereum merge, I expect that everything is going to be attempted to make people forget about Bitcoin altogether. It has become more visible than ever before exactly how weaponized our media has become. Climate change is going to be the biggest driver towards manipulating the future of crypto. The second half of 2017 has shown us how easy it is to manipulate crypto markets. And since 2020, the mass formation psychosis of Western societies cannot be denied any longer. Together with Ripple, Ethereum is going to attack any proof of work coin out there, and the media is going to willfully lie to the masses, like they have done before, so blatantly obvious to those that pay attention. The real agenda is not COVID, nor Agenda 2030, nor any war. The real agenda is control, and with use of that money and mass media, it just so happened to be that I was born in the time of humanity, when those two inventions had a mass impact on society and thus the amount of control governments had. The opposite of that control is violence. The less control a government has over its people, the more violent it will become. The turning point was the invention of the internet, which made it possible for information, that includes the like of Bitcoin, to transfer in a secure way over the earth in seconds at practically zero cost. This has now brought us to a time where I believe all of humanity is literally at stake. The dollar as world reserve currency is ending, and this is already affecting people in their daily lives today. I am not too worried, because I'm used to being early to the party. It has happened to me many times before. The plans and ideas of these psychopaths can only find fruitful ground in case people can be manipulated into acquiescing to it, and this time, after many years of a very one-sided global dominance, I am still convinced the situation is going to end in a different manner. I am glad I landed on stable ground. Life around me is beautiful, and I finally started to see exactly how free life can truly be. I have no obligations, and I like my view on the present time, and I'm really curious to see how things are going to play out over the next couple of years. I think the best choice I can make is to finally let go of the idea that I need to explain myself or my choices, and to just enjoy them instead. A healthy mindset and body will certainly help, and as I have pointed out before, staying up to date with the current thing can be a stressful business. I am done trying to connect to other people's stories. Instead, I am going to enjoy my own world view. For me, crypto is politics, and if you want to vote today, you best do that with your wallet. I have chosen to build my crypto portfolio accordingly, and by far my largest positions I hold in terms of percentage of total coins, I hold in Bitcoin of the Netherlands, e-Gulden EFL or honk.cash tokens. Both development teams have their own ideas on which moves they need to make. e-Gulden EFL wants to be as politically neutral as can be. There should not be any message or any story, because Bitcoin of the Netherlands in itself is already difficult enough. I hold no grief towards that small group of enthusiastic Dutch crypto pioneers, because you can't expect a couple of people to do the work of 17 million inhabitants of the Netherlands. Honk.cash honkos are ready to meet their new owner since February, but since the clown's world at CoinFlex came to light, messages and communication have stopped completely. Things always turn out in the right way, and maybe it's for the best that Honk did not go mainstream before the situation at CoinFlex occurred. I don't think you can really prepare for what is coming in the upcoming years ahead, but I do believe I am now in the best situation I could have ever been. Offline, I have great people around me that feed me with positive energy, and making this sculpture has opened my eyes to understand how things need their time. I am sure more people feel the world is changing, and people are just too busy with COVID-like distractions to really find the core of the issue, which is the invention of self-regulating money. The Dutch people are in need for a secure way to save the fruits of their labor for a later moment. At some point in time, that need will get them to find out about e-Gulden EFL, even if nobody talks about it. After many years of research, I found that e-Gulden EFL had the best team for this task, and I still hold on to this belief. Regardless of previous honk.cash screw-ups, I believe the clown's world will grow and more people are going to wear the honkler outfit, and some of them will also look for a way to express their political opinion in a cryptocurrency. If the team behind honk starts to communicate again, the coin might go somewhere. And if not, it's still a great tool for me to reward viewers of my live streams. Starting on the 1st of September, new episodes of twitch.tv/KingHonkspiracy are going to be broadcasted daily at 5 PM Liberland time, for a total of 11 days in a row. On the 11th of September, a 9/11 memorial special will be broadcasted starting at 8:45 AM New York time. Do you want to become a millionaire? Billions of honk.cash have already been handed out to viewers, and while you earn some crypto, we can have some fun laughing about the impossible turn of events that the governments and mass media propose for a reality. For me, 9/11 was the first event in which I questioned the government. So in the days ahead of 9/11, I will once again tell you how my career as an alt-right QAnon conspiring science denier started. At least that is how some like to portray me today. I like to see the rest of the world as radical and myself as a modest being. It's just an extreme time which we live in. The list of crazy events during my lifetime is pretty long, but the people that are living in it simply do not have the ability to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. When I think about Dutch farmers, Canadian truckers, or even all of those COVID freedom fighters, I can't help myself but to ask what they think they are going to achieve by fighting a court battle or burning liters of gasoline. The fairy tale of your existence comes to an end, and if you still want to believe in kings and queens without looking at the petrodollar relationship those monarchs have, you will be offered a quick death in the form of an untested toxic jab. What justice is there to be fought in court if that court itself has become unjust? Which laws do you want to see changed to legitimize decades of theft and oppression? The lifestyle you got used to requires war, corruption and exclusion, and the materialism it provides is just an empty shell that distracts you from experiencing the real beauty in the world, which at the first place is you. Just like how I crafted this turtle from wood, you need to work with the resources you got. I'm sure people see me as a stubborn and troublesome guy, but I'm glad to tell you my borders and wishes. Specifically about Liberland, I do not see the need to build a wall to become free. Instead of working on the perfect control system with the outlook of a libertarian Epstein Island for the elite, we need to educate people on how to identify as Liberlander and make them refuse to pay taxes any longer for the unwillingness to aid a terrorist organization that calls itself the government. I'm very happy with my work and journey so far. I have managed to dodge bullets and hold on to my own beliefs. Also in Liberland, people don't care about those beliefs of mine so much, as they are too busy with their own. It might sound funny, but I'm actually really happy with the obstruction that kept me under the radar, as it has allowed me to develop myself instead of being developed by others. I am glad that I planted in another seed in the form of this turtle, or as the locals near Liberland call it, a Kornjača. Not only did I show myself how I can actually finish something, but the journey of finishing this product has been an amazing and wholesome experience that took me over 1 year in total. I feel like the urging feeling I once had, the drive that made me move towards Liberland soil, has finally found its way. I am ready to accept that for the upcoming years things are going to turn out in a way in which I can only control as little as I can hold on to. And I feel blessed knowing that this is exactly enough for everything that I will achieve from here on out. I want to thank everybody, especially those that kick me out or censor me. It has now come to this point. So let's see whose point of view the world is going to change towards. I have tried my best to show you my different values, and I'm willing to share them with anyone. I am right here, living my dream. So if you want to be part of it, invite yourself, either to some online platform like Telegram, Twitch, or as a comment on this video, or in real life, because I am still walking on this planet near Liberland. So why not share some time together? I believe the Western way of forcing a single world view onto anybody that wants to be part of their society is despicable. But I can accept anybody's idea to be different than mine. I believe in my cause as every fiber of my body tells me this is the way to go, and I feel safe to walk further down a path that separates itself from pregnant men, vaccines, GMOs, or yet another politician. Trump is not going to save us, just like a judge isn't going to provide justice. We have to act up and organize differently, starting with using different money. Until that happens, all protests and actions is just holding on to old beliefs and allowing a distraction to waste your time until a CBDC, central bank digital currency, is forced upon you. Instead of reacting to whatever current thing comes forward, we need to create an alternative story, a better story. And according to me, that story needs to be about your children live on, or Yoshi Livo. That is the story about nature I will hold on to, and I believe that one day people will help me spread that message. Thanks for your attention, and I hope to see you during the next series of King Hongspiracy live streams starting the 1st of September. It was quite a story, guys, and it's a beautiful weather. This is my turtle crafted from wood, and now it's time for a fresh dive into beautiful Liberland water. Enjoy the summer. Ciao, ciao.